the Gentleman's Review. Hello, it's episode 89 of the Gentleman's Review.
Woo! Hurrah! Woo, yeah!
I'm quite aroused by that whole thing.
No, this is very exciting.
It is. We're doing video today as well.
Oh.
Hello, video. How are you? Hope you're well.
Yes, I've never done this before.
Oh,
I need to remember to keep looking at that thing there.
yes, like that
Like
thing.
a pro.
That Cyclops. Hello, Cyclops.
Oh.
Hello. I love you. I want you. I want you. Brains.
Would you like to be left alone with your camera?
Yeah, go on then. I'll. I think the pub's closed down up the road.
God damn.
It hasn't closed down up the road.
It should close down up the road.
It's still
Because
there.
it's a bit dodgy and it's full of racists.
It is. Racist, dodgy people.
You sure we can take these off? I can't hear you now.
Oh, well. Well, you really need to get some better ears, matey peeps.
Yeah, I'm syringed or something.
Yeah.
This does not feel right at all without the headphones on. I'm not used to this.
We'll put them back on again. We'll put them back on again.
You can keep yours on. I'll stick mine on.
In case you get frightened.
Freaky, isn't it?
Or anything like that. Yeah. I keep looking in the wrong direction because I keep monitoring what's going on over there on the screen. So I do apologise if that's the case.
Don't worry about
You
it.
don't like me doing that. So what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? A terrible week. A terrible week. My internet went down.
Boo to internet.
And I didn't realise just how many things I need my internet for. Or how many things I rely on my internet for. I mean, obviously not porn.
No.
Because I just have, two big disk drives full of it.
Wow.
A lot of it I haven't even looked at yet. So it's always nice. It's always something new to discover.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
everything else, news and telly and just entertainment, I kept going back. Every time I was bored, I was like doing some tidying and thought, I'm doing some tidying and I'm a bit bored. I'll put something on to listen to whilst I'm tidying. And I thought, I've not listened to the latest Bugle. I'll stick the Bugle on and got iTunes up. And of course, that was another thing that I needed fucking internet for.
Boo. Boo, he's...
I kept going back to the computer for entertainment. I got the image in my head of one of those things, off the Attenborough shows, a sort of a mother polar bear with a dead cub that sort of keeps going back and sort of nudging it with her nose.
No.
Saying, no, come on, you must be alive. You must still be alive. Get up.
Yeah, that has happened to me. In fact, it happened to me on New Year's Day.
Really?
Yeah, because I'd not been about and not paid my bills. For some reason, Virgin cut me off, and I came home on New Year's Day and sort of sat there. Went, I want to watch the new Sherlock. I'll watch it in HD. No, HD channel's not available because it's on cable. You see, they don't like giving HD channels when you haven't paid any bills.
That's it. That's your gripe.
Yeah.
You couldn't watch something on HD.
Yeah, and I couldn't have it, and the internet didn't work either. So then I had to go online and pay lots of money, and then it worked within 10 minutes. But not really in time to watch Sherlock from the beginning.
But at least you had your phone.
Yeah.
Which I didn't. I did up until this
That's
week
true.
when I got a new one. Look, it's my new phone. It's my new baby. Oh. People listen to this afterwards. What have I fucking clue? That bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's happened before.
It's a little HTC. It's like the idiot smaller brother of the one I used to have.
Oh, Sally TC.
It's just like it's a little slower and a little smaller.
I know that feeling.
So yeah, it's quite endearing in a way. It keeps trying to do things quickly and then stalling.
Well, you got back on Twitter, which is good.
Yes,
but
I'm not up to 100 followers yet. I keep meaning to say this every time we have a podcast. It's dithering around in the sort of high 90s. It was up to 99 one time this week, and as soon as I started tweeting again, it went back down.
That's no good.
But if I get up to 100 followers, get anyone you can to follow me, and as soon as I hit 3 figures, I will actually start fucking tweeting.
Yes, you need to.
That's how it's done, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it took me a long time to get to the amount of followers that I have, which I'm not quite sure about at the moment. Well, I know exactly how many. I'll tell you what. I look at that every day.
Have it tattooed on the back of your hand.
Yeah. It's taken me, God knows, 3-4 years to get up to 800 followers, and occasionally it drops below that to 799 when people unfollow me. Peter Serafinowicz unfollowed me,
Did he?
Yeah, didn't like me.
Fucker.
No, he's a cunt. Actually, he's not a cunt. Yeah. You're not a cunt just because you unfollow me, but I will hunt you down and kill you.
I only unfollow people for being boring.
Yes.
And you're many things on Twitter, but you're never boring.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. I did unfollow somebody because a gay gentleman, because he was being too sexual all the time. Kept talking. God, it was just like, oh, I'm wanking now. Oh, I'm spunking in my own chin. In my own chin.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah. Oh God.
Chin is sacred.
Yeah.
Well, something else that happened this week.
What happened this week?
I went out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I had some nice pints of Guinness and a whiskey as a nightcap, and morning after, fine.
Yeah.
Next 3 days, didn't go out at all. No booze. This morning, woke up with a hangover. How the fuck does that work?
Oh, that's shit. You need the hair of the dog that bit you, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, the hair of the dog that bit me 4 days ago.
Yeah. Well, I do have some dog hair with me today.
Excellent.
I'll lean down now and I'll pick this up.
Oh, it's there, is it?
I really should put this in a more convenient place, really.
That's more convenient than I was expecting. I thought it was still in the kitchen.
Well, last year we tasted some Irish cream, which Andy said tasted of chicken, and it came in a plastic bottle.
But chicken's never a bad flavour.
That's it. So today we're going to taste O'Grady's Irish cream.
Blimey.
O'Grady's.
It's been plugged to all of however many 4 people or whatever it is.
I'm going to shake it up because I don't trust it.
Are they likely to send us some free stuff if we say nice things?
O'Grady's nice. No, I can't even say it. O'Grady's nicest boobs. Would you like some of O'Grady's nicest woobsy boobs? Ooh.
The voiceover work dried up, love, has it?
Oh God, yes, I tell you. Oh, have a break. Have a.
Well, I do feel a thirst on me.
Right, there we go. So, because my mum tidied up when she came round and threw out all my chipped crockery and glassware, we're now using huge glasses to drink it in.
Yeah.
Which is unusual because we normally use a sort of slightly smaller glass.
Yeah, yes, we always do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't at all ever drink cream liqueur by the half pint.
No. So
that would be common and uncouth.
We'll see what this tastes of, shall we?
Hey, that's not half bad. As Bailey's substitutes go, I bet them sight worse.
Doesn't taste of chicken, which is a good start. It's creamy. It's sort of giving me a strange heartburn feeling, which means that it must have some spirit in there. Which the chicken stuff didn't. It just had wine in. Yeah.
Chickeny wine.
Exactly what spirit's in there. It might be diesel, petrol.
Genero distilled grain spirit.
It would be a spirituous liquor.
That's been sort of waved near some whiskey.
I can hardly recommend it. It's only 3p a litre. Or something like that. It's not expensive. And quite nice. And I'll probably just sup that now during the podcast. You know, that's the kind of guy I am, and probably Tom is too.
I actually will highly recommend this. I could drink it every day. Hint.
Yes. Both evening and mornings, I can drink O'Grady's Irish cream.
So it was the mornings that got me. Yeah. A glass of that over breakfast. That'll set you up for the day.
It would go well with cornflakes, I think.
Go very well with cornflakes. Must be admitting to slightly too much of a habit, though. I think. Well, there you go.
Yes. So the last Sherlock.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
This was before I was back on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any of the fallout from that, but I just really enjoyed it.
Yep.
In fact, of the 3 of this series, it was the one I enjoyed the most.
Yeah. I got quite cross on Twitter, and I hadn't watched it at the point. I'd been watching something else and forgot.
You just assumed you knew why people were being wrong.
Oh yeah. I instantly knew why people were being wrong, because they kept saying things like, "Oh, that was a cop out. Oh, a cop out ending," and I'm thinking, I came back at the end, didn't he? like he does in the Reichenberg Falls and the final problem.
Yeah, you morons.
Read the final problem. and then the empty house. Granted, there was about 3 years between the two.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it all at once, but it still came back to life. Yeah.
No, it didn't come back to life.
Well, no,
he's never dead.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
For all intents and purposes, came.
For no intents and purposes, the fucker wasn't dead. That was the point.
Yeah, well, do we know he wasn't dead?
Yes.
How do we know he wasn't dead? Did he tell you he wasn't dead? Did he send you a letter in the post saying, "Dear Tom"?
He gave a pretty strong hint for not being dead by still being alive.
That's
the way I interpret it.
God, you crazy, crazy man with your weird interpretations of people not being dead because they're not dead. I mean, am I dead? Yes, I am dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're half dead. There's little bits of your brain still dead, aren't there?
Yeah, floating around.
Yeah, it's
quite
so
nice.
whizzing around in there.
And bumping into each other.
Ah, dear, this bloody wire is really annoying me.
Yeah, that's because I wasn't intending you to wear it all the way through, but...
Now I feel really insecure without, like, hearing you in my ears.
Oh. Doesn't taste like chicken.
But I made an effort. You said we were going to be on like, live streaming, so I put my gentleman's waistcoat
Yes. And I've put a jacket on, which I never do. Apart from all the time. I live in the 90s. That's where I live. I never quite got out of the 90s.
I live in the 1890s.
Yeah.
Well, I want to watch channel.
Although I did my hair this morning and then I went out and it got all blustered.
Blustered?
Blustered, I've just invented that word.
Bloody hell.
That's what happens when you're going out in a blustery day.
It's bloody flustered.
And bluster your bastard hair, they do. Bluster it! Bluster your hair!
It's all that fucking wind.
Oh, I tell you what, fucking wind, I tell you. Last night, I was farting pretty much constantly all night. It was amazing. I just kept waking up with it. it's quite pleasant.
How loud you were farting.
Yeah. Oh,
The
fucking
fuck
hell.
is it?
Oh, jeez. I just sort of... I would have got up and opened my window, but because it's winter and I live in a hovel, I have plastic over my windows during the winter to help keep the drafts out and devils and things like that.
That's a hovel and a half, is that? Like,
Yeah.
my hovel has double glazing, but then again, yeah, it's double glazing, and I keep the window open all the time. Because I like to feel the breeze around my head whilst I'm trying to get to sleep of an evening.
Oh, yes. Well, I used to, But not anymore. I'm just getting too old for it, I think.
You are getting old.
I'm getting nesh, as they say.
Dear. You going 40 this year?
Yes, going 40 in May.
It's almost dead.
May 31st. Yeah,
You might as well just give up now.
I made me will. Yeah. I'm sending everything to the United Nations Fund for Dogs.
Fun for dogs.
Yeah.
They'll enjoy watching your Laurel and Hardy DVDs.
Yeah. They train dogs up to go into behind enemy lines and make peace. They just go around and look cute.
Oh, nice thought.
Everybody's fighting and then a dog walks in and they go, "Oh, look, the little snuggly wuggly. Oh, the little booby whoopy gooby zooby dooby."
What a cute little hound. Let's not kill anything ever again.
Yes, because that's, the people are just easily swayed by dogs and are not evil, killing things, men. Yeah.
Of all the things the UN could do, that's probably not the worst.
Well, I did ask a question today. I asked people to ask you questions.
Yeah, which is great. I don't have to read anything. I spent half an hour trying to set up my phone for TweetDeck and then realised I didn't need to because it can be done as a sort of interviewee kind of thing.
Yes. So right, let me just turn slightly to face you. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Martin.
Je suis Monsieur Stringfellow.
Am I putting you at your ease as an interviewer?
No, the cream liqueur is putting me at my ease more
That's
adequately
good.
than you.
Okay, the first question is from Wet Sarah. Actually, we can't call her Wet Sarah. That's not our podcast. H2O Sarah.
H2O Sarah.
Yeah.
Or just Sarah,
That'd be quaint. Quaint, if you ask me.
Isn't that over familiar?
Calling her Sarah? I don't know. If it's over familiar if you went, "Hello, Fanny." Addressing yourself to a body part, I think that's over familiar.
I suppose so. Stick with H2O Sarah.
H2O Sarah, there we go. She asks, what is the word... what is...
I can't read.
This is a brilliant start.
Can't read.
I think Jonathan Ross is safe in his job.
She is. Oh, she is. Yes, she is. She's perfectly safe.
Just because he's got long hair does not mean he's a girl, Martin.
What is your worst post-drinking injury?
I get loads of drinking injuries that I can't actually remember.
Oh, that's good.
Well, yeah, like you just get a bruise. I usually get bruises around the sort of shin level.
Oh, yeah.
and then sort of walk around my house trying to find things at that height that I might have walked into and can't find them.
Oh.
And I get loads of them. So that doesn't really count because that's not the injury. The best, I suppose the best one I had. I remember walking back from Halifax to home one very, very cold night with my friend Matt. And I remember just at some point my legs got tangled. And as I was falling sideways to the ground
Yes.
in sort of comedy fashion, thinking to myself, I just forgotten how to walk. I
Easy,
smashed into the side of my hip. And I had a massive bruise there for about 2 weeks.
Oh.
So that was spectacular for the injury, for how long it stuck around, and for just the sheer fucking stupidity of it. So that's probably my worst. What
Oh, that's good.
about yours? Doesn't it mention you in there as well?
It does. Could also be for Martin. That would be. I think pride comes before a fall in this respect. I went out and I bought. I was going to a dinner thing where you had to wear a black tie, and I went out and bought a very expensive new shirt for it. I was very proud of this shirt. Until the end of the evening, when I drank loads and loads of whiskey and then fell over in the car park and gashed my arm and then just bled all over it. I woke up the next morning with my arm stuck to the bed, so that was lovely.
Oh,
And I was also sick all over a car.
excellent.
It was lovely. It was a really posh car as well, which made me even happier. And Neil 55, or Neil Peters,
Neil Peters.
he said he wishes he had your name, and he wants to know what name you like and why.
What name I like, or what name I would like. I don't know. Well, for a start, you don't want my name, because if you have my name, then every time you tell your name to someone, usually an official of some sort, they say to you, any relation. And the stupid thing is, I can't just say no.
Yeah.
I have to say, well, yeah, distantly, because it's quite a rare name, and we're both from Yorkshire, so there probably is somewhere down the line a connection.
That's quite true.
And I get bored of saying that.
But
I don't get. I mean, Peter Stringfellow is sort of famous. There are loads of people whose surname is Smith who are sort of famous.
Yeah, that's quite
The
true.
people who give their name as Smith get someone saying, any relation.
Oh,
And if not, I'm going to fucking start doing it.
Yeah. Are you Doctor Who? Are you? Are you Doctor Who? Yeah, that'd be good.
What's your name? Ted Smith. Any relation? What? Come on, any fucking relation. What do you mean? Stop being coy. Fucking who tell me? Any relation? Bastards.
And of course, the best answer to that question is still the one from bottom, where he goes, "Yes, my mother."
But what name would I like? I'd like to be called. It'd be quite good being called Lord.
Yeah.
If every time you spoke to someone, they had to say, like, yes, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that. Or change my name by default to The Doctor and insist that everyone called me The.
That would be great.
No, my first name's The!
But
Thank you.
That's it, yes. Okay. Next question from Nicola Woolhouse.
Hello, Nicola.
Hello, Nicola. We don't say cunt enough, do we, anymore? Never mind. You have to count. You have to find something to count in the future. Something else. She asks, what was the weirdest dream you've ever had? Have you ever sleepwalked?
Sleepwalked?
Yeah.
Sleptwalk, surely.
Yeah, I don't know. She's a nurse, she knows.
Both at the same time, actually. Yes, I've sleepwalked once, and it was the weirdest dream. When I was quite small, I had a dream that just lying in my bed as I was, suddenly someone was braying on my door. My door opened, and silhouetted against the light was like this sort of big person carrying an axe.
Wow,
That
you
I
have fun dreams.
Ran past,
Yeah.
scared out of my tiny fucking mind, into the bathroom. I remember locking the bathroom door twice. Even though it doesn't have two locks, it just and then sort of like just shivering in the bath whilst this door went bam, 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 and this guy was trying to get in after me, and then woke up in the bath.
Yeah.
Then I'd obviously just run there, and then the door wasn't locked, and it was all a bit fucking freaky.
Yeah. Well, I think that's.
I was about 11 or 12 at the time, and I was very, very scared. I didn't go to sleep for another 2 days, but
Well, that's normal. And did the therapy work?
yeah.
No, obviously not. William Tennant says, the rest of the Gentleman's Review, shag, marry or kill.
Yeah, I saw this, and I couldn't figure out whether he meant each one of you independently,
I think it meant just the usual shag, marry, kill.
or I have to, because obviously Lisa's the only girlie, so she'd have to be the shag.
Yeah.
Which would mean I'd then have to decide which one of you or Andy I wanted to kill.
Yeah, well...
And the marry would have to be by default, really.
Yes, that's the way it works.
So, Lisa would go for the sauciness.
Yeah.
And obviously I'd have to do it, because Williams asked me to. So Andy would just have to put up with that. And, I don't know, I'd have to flip a coin. Whichever of the two of you gave me the most money, I wouldn't kill, and therefore by default they'd get married to me.
You could kill me because I'm older, so I've got less life to go anyway.
I'd have to marry Andy though.
And
you get to wear a wedding dress, so
Yeah, well, yeah. So does Andy. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it that way. So you're a goner, I'm afraid.
I'm a goner again. Right, Mr. Stephen Henry says. Paul Daniels or the Great Soprendo? Who's Tom's favourite, and where should I go on holiday this year, Iceland or Chicago? I think we need to break this down, don't we? So first of all...
Yeah, my head can only cope with one question at a time.
I think first of all, the Great Soprendo or Paul Daniels.
God, no question, Great Soprendo.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Durham, lovely, lovely bloke.
Yes.
I have met him.
Oh.
He must have been doing something in Halifax, and I got to sort of briefly say hello to him, and he just seems a really nice guy. And I have to mention Paul Daniels as well, as everyone knows he's a cunt. So
yeah, and hasn't he
weighing those things up?
Hasn't he cut a finger off today, something like that?
Paul Daniels.
Have I imagined that? Has he actually cut? I think he's cut a finger off.
One of his own fingers? Or
yeah. I don't know whether he was doing a trick or he just got it snapped shut in Debbie McGee.
If he has actually cut one of his own fingers off just through being a cack-handed twat, then he goes slightly in my estimation, but still not enough.
Yeah. I will check on that before the end of this podcast.
Still be going with the big piff-paff poovery of the Great Soprendo.
Okay, next question from Mr. Stephen Henry. That was, and where should he go on holiday this year? Iceland or Chicago?
Where should he go?
Yeah, Iceland or Chicago.
Well, Chicago. Everyone in Chicago's wears fishnets and dances around a lot.
That's true.
So that's tempting. For me, Iceland's got a lot of geology going on. There's a lot of rocks and volcanoes and shit. But the beer is fucking expensive.
Oh, no.
So
no.
I'd stick with Chicago.
Yeah.
And, take some tissues. Yeah.
Right. Sven945. Hello, you. How are you? Tom, how many words do you actually know? And when are you going to start using them? Ooh.
I was trying to count them on the way up here.
Yeah.
It's more than 50. I got to 50. Number 50 was and.
Oh, that's good.
And then I got bored.
That's good. So you didn't.
If this is a dig at my relative quietness, is there a better word than quietness? Quiescence? Anyway, so this is a dig at my relative quietness on recordings. Yeah. I will start using the words when I can get a fucking word in edgewise.
Yeah.
Have you any idea what it is like sitting here with him and fucking Wilson?
It's gorgeous. It's lovely. It's the nicest experience anybody ever has.
You start saying something like, I don't know, what did you think to the last episode of Mongrels? Did you watch it, Martin? Martin will start talking about Mongrels. And about 5 minutes later, when he's finished talking and the subject's on, sticking his cock in zombie trifle or something, it's a bit difficult to get back to what I was going to say about Mongrels in the first place. And I can't interrupt, because generally, even after, what is it, coming up to 4 years?
Yeah.
And I'm still a relatively polite conversationalist. And I don't like butting in on people when they're talking. So that is why. If I can... I'll take courses. I'll take assertiveness courses to try and be more of an arrogant fuck. But this is why I could never be a comic.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed about comedians. Anyone who's a stand-up or any kind of comedian, if they can't hear the sound of their own voice, they think something's wrong. And I'm not like that. So whenever we're recording and you actually just can't hear me at all for more than 5 minutes, I'm sat in the corner over there for the people who are actually watching this, all two of you.
Yeah.
I'm just there staring at the ceiling in my happy place. Usually between Billy Piper and Freema Higgyman.
Is that a name now?
In fact, once when we were doing the Mega Poddy,
yeah,
we were doing the Mega Poddy, you raised the subject on something like Bond films, spoke about it for a couple of minutes on your own, and then moved on to another subject. Nobody else got a chance to talk about it.
Bear in mind, I was mentally distraught on that day.
That was the 7th hour. We were all mentally distraught by the 7th hour.
Falling apart.
Well, that reminds me. Are you going to be doing anything for sport relief?
Fuck off. I hate sport. It's evil. Children should be prevented from doing it at schools. They should build houses on all those playing fields and fill them with gin. Something like that.
Gin.
Mr.
So does that answer the question?
It does.
Hey.
Jack, of course, has asked many more questions.
Which is good because we've got an hour to fill.
Yeah.
Cheers, Jack.
He says, so, tell me about geology then.
Geology. I could take everything you need to know about geology within 5 minutes.
That's good. I'll keep drinking.
Volcanoes, good. Earthquakes, good. Rocks, mostly good. Igneous rocks, fine. Metamorphic rocks are fine. They're both superb. Sedimentary rocks are shit. Any one single metamorphic or igneous rock could beat the crap out of all sedimentary rocks in a fight on its own. That's how shit sedimentary rocks are. They are boring, dull as fuck. Don't go anywhere near them.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. You know, we'd like some more O'Grady's.
Yeah, yes, please.
Classic country cream.
It angries up the blood nicely. What else is there? Geophysics. If anyone in conversation, and it's usually geophysicists, use the phrase sedimentary basin to you, you are legally obliged to punch them in the throat.
Oh,
fucking dull subject.
I've got one of those in my cupboard.
Paleontology is fine, if you're talking about macropaleontology, which is all, dinosaurs and fossils and things you can actually see and fucking touch. Micropaleontology, again, is just one of those subjects for really, really sad folks. Do you think you're talking about things that are under a microscope?
Yes.
They all say, this is tiny, tiny thing that you can only see when it's like magnified 100 times.
Right.
They say, you can tell from like looking at different rocks. Like if the rock was formed in a sea where it was really high calcite, then they curl around one way, and if it was low calcite, they curl around the other way. Like that's really fucking interesting. These people should get out and get a life and go to the fucking pub with all the petrologists and hard rock geochemists instead of charging. What sort of a fuckless bastard would you have to be to find out something like that?
I don't know. I don't understand why anybody would enjoy anything to do with the nature. I like man-made things.
Proper geology involves beer and hammers. One of my favourite points all the time that I was doing geology was on a field trip up in Scotland somewhere, where this tutor or PhD student was sort of saying, right, what's this rock? And we're all looking at this rock. And I pointed out to this guy that you couldn't really tell because it was covered in fucking lichen. You couldn't actually see any of the surface of this rock. So he said, well, it could be this or it could be this. But you just don't know. How are we meant to know? And he just got his hammer and went whap, and this big chunk fell off, and he said, well, it's fairly soft, it's probably limestone. Fine, that's my kind of geology. I can appreciate that.
Hit it with a hammer. Hit it with a hammer. I've just got a message through from the wonderful Daniel Meyer. Paul Daniels got his finger reattached today. He accidentally chopped it off with a circular saw on New Year's Eve. Oh, no, day, sorry. So, at least he didn't do it New Year's Eve.
On New Year's Day? That's still, about 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. I hope they packed it in a lot of lollies.
I'm sort of impressed that they can keep something for that long and still successfully reattach it.
Well, yeah. I wonder if they could do it with bodies.
Why did he bother?
I don't know.
I mean, magicians, you can buy things for magicians that are like false thumbs anyway, for when you're doing tricks with silk handkerchiefs. You'd have thought, being the consummate pro that he is, he'd have actually used it and thought, bloody hell, I can devise some new tricks with that.
And he can carry on in show business with one arm. Look at that guy with emu. Yeah, he had
slick. I like it.
Yeah, sorry, I can't bring things to mind now. Since this is from Jack as well, since Dr. Bob Chocko's not here to defend himself, which is Andy, tell me something incriminating about him.
Oh God!
You've known him longer than I.
I don't know. He's never really done much that incriminating. I know he once told me that he managed to fill up the entire 80 gig hard drive of his computer, mostly with porn. but given that I've got two 500 gig hard drives, all full of porn.
That's impressive.
It's slightly less incriminating than anything I've done. He's actually a straight-laced, decent bloke, is Andy.
He is.
It pains me to say it.
He is. I'd love
to be able to say that he was a deviant cunt, but he's just not.
And if he does anything to you, he generally tells you about it on this podcast anyway, as I do. I can't bloody resist it. Oh,
Yeah.
I had a wank last night.
Intimidating. I'll tell you, my most amusing times with Andy. I remember one time when we'd been just drinking at a local pub, and I think it was one of his first forays into real ale.
Oh yeah.
And he'd gone on a couple of strong ones and spent a good hour chatting to me whilst he had his head in someone's bath puking. That was fun.
Yes. I've also held his hair while he'd thrown up in the bath.
And he had long hair.
He had long hair, but it wasn't.
That is a mate. You've got a friend when you've got someone who will hold your hair out of your own sick whilst you're razzing your guts up.
It was back when he had the long hair down to his lower back. I think it went that far. But in those olden days, so that's about as much as we can tell you about Andy. Really.
Yeah. I mean, take from that what you will. He's either a very nice straight-laced chap or fucking dull. One or the other.
Well, I'll take the former. This is from Colonel Hitch. Hello, Colonel Hitch.
Hello, Colonel Hitch.
Tom, if you could piss on anybody from a great height, who would it be?
From a great what?
Height.
Height.
Sorry, this stuff comes back up again. Tom, if you could piss on anybody from a great height, who would it be?
Metaphorically or actually? What we're thinking?
I think actually.
Actually. Well, I mean, no end of women, obviously, because that's just what I'm into. But I'd quite like to piss. I could piss on Michael McIntyre from a great height. That's a very obvious thing to say, but I don't think I'd ever get fed up of doing that.
Yeah.
Just wait for him to get his fucking Ponzi slightly too tight because he's a tubby little cunt suit dry before I start pissing on him again.
Yes. However he talks, I can't remember.
But yeah, but it's one of those questions that just boils down to who do you dislike, and I could be here all day.
Yeah. Well, when we finish this question and answer section, I'm going to tell you who I want to shit on this week. Now,
is there any part of your central nervous system that this booze isn't affecting?
No. Well, it affects it anyway because I've already got slurry speech because of it. But now it's just made it even worse. It's fantastic. Right. Oh, yes. Another one from Colonel Hitch. Tom, whose sex tape would you rather see, Adrian Chiles or Jeremy Clarkson's?
Have they both got one out?
Yeah. Well, they were out of Christmas.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
I've almost both of them.
Yeah.
It's gonna really depend on who they're with, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, I'd probably have to go for Charles's, purely because it's going to be slightly less right wing.
Yes.
Which I found, in sex tapes is always a good thing. But yeah, I feel all weird now. Thank you for putting that image in my head.
You sexed him up.
I'll leave you to recover, and I'll ask you another question. Well, that's some spam.
I'll read the spam. I can answer the spam.
Oh, it says hiring now, new job openings.
Fuck off.
Yeah. This one's one from Colonel Hitch again. Tom, would you rather be turned into a Cyberman or a Borg?
Oh, well, that's easy. It would have to be a Borg. Because I think if you're a Borg, from what I've seen from Star Trek, you're allowed to keep your winky.
Yes.
If you're lucky, which I'm pretty sure goes if you're a Cyberman.
Yeah.
Even though you're a technical old man.
Yeah.
I don't think you still get the attachment down there.
No.
So you obviously you want your winky staying safe, and if you're a Borg, you've got a reasonable chance of getting made a not Borg again.
Yeah.
If you're watching Voyager, it seems to happen every other fucking episode. So yeah, definitely Borg. I couldn't imagine anyone wanting to be a Cyberman.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I don't mind being a Cyberman. Provided it could be, is it the Cyber Controller or the Cyber Leader, which has the clear dome on the head, so you can see lights.
Cyber Controller.
Yeah, and
possibly I don't know.
I'll get somebody to pimp my brain. I'd get some LED strips around, sort of blue light underneath it. It'd be quite cool, I think.
Hey, if you could actually get them implanted, so when that bit of the brain was active, a little LED.
Yeah,
dead good.
And you might be able to speak properly, like the old Cybermen used to be able to, before they went, delete!
Delete.
Tom,
like us.
Colonel Hitch, Tom, if a disabled man in a wheelchair asks you for help pissing in a pub toilet, would you... Why does he keep asking about pissing?
The man's obsessed.
But would you help a man piss in a pub toilet?
Would I help? No, the question is, if a disabled man asked me
Yes.
for help pissing in a pub toilet, then, I probably would.
Yeah.
But that's not because I'm a really, really nice guy. If there was a disabled man trying to have a piss anywhere and just feebly attempting to do it on himself, I would be sort of looking everywhere but at him and hoping to God he didn't ask me.
Yes.
But if he did, and I was then sort of had some kind of obligation to engage in the conversation with him, I couldn't do anything other than the right thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't enjoy doing it, but I would just do it because I don't know, that's the way my head works.
There you go, see.
So don't take it from that I'm a good person. I'm really, really not.
No. I'd just push him into the cubicle and make him sit down, which I probably already is.
I'd possibly say, can I go and get you an empty pint glass?
Oh.
Would that be near enough?
Yeah.
Getting there. But yeah, I obviously try and negotiate some sort of better deal for myself first.
Yeah. Can I catheterise you with this toilet duck? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do. Another one from Jack. Hello, Jack.
Woo.
Who is better at feminism, me or Howley T? It's me, isn't it, he says.
He says it's me. This didn't went on to some sort of very, very long-winded discussion that we don't need to go into.
Well, I said the next response to that was from Howley T, who said, no!
This is an old argument that they've obviously had many times, but the crux of it seemed to revolve around lesbian titwangs, which, apart from sounding like a fantastic name for a band,
yes,
I'm trying to figure out where in a lesbian titwank you can have the wank part of it. 'Cause surely, if you're going to have a wank of any description, a cock has to be in there somewhere.
Yes, unless
By definition.
I suppose you can have a very, very hard nipple stimulating a clitoris.
I know women can masturbate, but when they do, it's not technically wanking, is it? I'm sure wanking is definitely cock-based.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So where's the cock come from in a lesbian titwank?
I don't know. Perhaps they just pop out.
Do they mean lesbian tit-free?
Yeah.
Is this where they're going with it? Or do they use some sort of fake phallus, which, I would just seem mental.
Yeah, a bit pointless, because I'm sure that nobody would really get anything out of that apart from some amusing pictures.
Yeah. I generally have to say that Howley is probably the better versed at being a feminist than Jack, purely on the ground that she does have feminine bits, although she can't actually spell feminism, as I found out when I was reading her tweets, so
Oh, well.
perhaps it swings back the other way, but...
Swinging all the way around to...
I don't know. The position of, actually having sizable jugs probably makes you better at feminism. So Howley gets it, and shortly followed by your good self, Martin.
Well, thank you very much. This is from... I nearly edited this tweet out because I thought it was going to be asking something else. It starts off, who's the youngest person you'd feel comfortable fighting?
How old is Justin Bieber?
About 12.
I'd give him a good punch.
Yeah, I thought we'd all punch him up the
However
face.
old he is, that's how old.
Yeah.
But it depends what they'd done. If someone had sort of like stolen my gin, if it was a double particularly, then it really wouldn't matter what age they were.
No.
They'd get a serious kicking.
That's good.
Particularly if I was at least 3 or 4 gins down the line.
I think that's good. Well, that pretty much comes to the end of our questions.
Aww.
I'm going now. There were just lots of people talking about things. I've got a question. Oh, actually, somebody else has asked you a question. He's got a question. Igneous or sedimentary, and why?
I've just answered
You
that.
just answered that question. That's fine.
Sedimentary puffs.
My dear puffs. So
Wasn't there one about members of the aristocracy?
I don't know. Was they? It might have not gone into the gentleman's review one. It might have gone into a different one.
It was whoever it was who asked who was my favourite member of the upper classes, then the answer is, I think, God, I've forgotten it now. It's the Countess of somewhere in Wales. Whoever the one is who lives in that house that they use in Downton Abbey.
Oh, those are the. Come on, Martin.
Countess of Carmarthenshire or something like that.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, it's because it's Highclere House.
Yeah.
Well, Highclere Castle.
Her.
Yeah,
I reckon she's saucy.
Yeah, of course. 'Cause
I saw her on the documentary.
Yeah.
The one that. The one I was watching just before Christmas when I tweeted you, I texted you actually, and said, I'm watching this documentary on Downton Abbey and I can't take it seriously because it is just like that comic relief skit that they did. And then like 2 weeks later, you were watching it and sent me the same text in reverse.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing. It's the Lady Carmarthen. Of course, whose great grandfather or great grandfather was instigated the Tutankhamun's tomb unveiling.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk to you about Egypt because as we know, what was the last bit? Was it the third dynasty or the fourth? Or
something like that.
Something like that down the line.
Yeah.
Well, I read that they're electing like members of the Egyptian parliament. This new one.
Yeah.
They've all brought in, and then once they've sort of got 100 people or whatever. Whatever system they use in these weird faraway countries, they then elect a president. Oh, why bother calling it president? Why not go back and call it a pharaoh?
Yeah,
why
that'd
not
be great.
Egypt have a pharaoh again? Because it's only a head of state. It's not like actually does anything.
You should have the hat and everything. It'd be great.
And you know, by the time they got down to the end, they were just figureheads and all the politicians and grand viziers.
Yeah.
Grand viziers.
Yeah.
They did all the stuff, you know, all the interesting bits.
The Grand Braziers.
You know, decided who to kill and who to shag and all the rest of it. So, I might write to them.
Yeah.
Dear Egypt, why not have a pharaoh again? That would be cool. Love Tom.
Tom Stringfellow's missive to the Egyptians. New bit of the Bible. Why don't you get the hat?
Wear the hat, you bastard. Go on, put it on.
Go on.
Put on the beard.
You lost the election. Where's your ass? Where's your ass? You'd have to football chant it. There'd be no other way of doing it. Your ass on your ass. So yes. So that's the questions. This week I've been completely sidetracked by Netflix, which is a bizarre new service. Well, it's not bizarre at all. It's a new video streaming service that became available on my games console. Excuse me. There's good stuff. And I've been watching old television programs and films and things. Well,
all the television
from the last three years, most of the telly.
Okay.
And I've been catching up with watching things like Firefly, which people have been telling me is great for years, and it is good. Only 14 episodes made, but then I watched another.
Everyone knows that. It is a travesty.
Yes, and I watched another Joss Whedon series which was cancelled after two seasons this time, and it's called Dollhouse. And I started watching it, and when it first broadcast, and I kind of gave up on it. But it's because it's bloody Joss Whedon doing.
People like you gave up on it. That's why it was cancelled.
Exactly. It's my fault. It's entirely my fault.
You hang your head in shame.
And it got through to the end of the season, and because Joss Whedon knows slow burns everything, and of course it gets to the second season, and it all just kicks off, and it becomes the best thing in the world ever. And I watched the last episode last night, and the spin-off. It made a couple of extra episodes to sort of tie up the series. And they were astonishingly good as well. So yeah, hunt that down. But of course, that means that I haven't done any work or anything this week on anything, apart from coming home, sitting down, and watching stuff on the television.
Well, that's good.
Of course, my free trial runs out in a few weeks. So I'll just cancel it then. When I've watched everything.
Talking of fucking cancellations, though.
Yeah.
What is this thing that I heard about Mongols?
It's been cancelled. Well,
ow!
Well, it's not been cancelled in the American side. It's not been commissioned again, recommissioned, which is just.
It's the same fucking thing.
And I think the general fury that I saw when I saw that little tweet come up from Dan Tetzel saying, saying that it wasn't coming back. But then I went on to Chortle, who are cunts at the best of times. And but if you want to put our podcast on the front of the page of your thing,
feel free.
Yeah, feel free. And they were sort of reveling in again. Mongrels put down, blah 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 blah, and they're nasty.
I'll see what they did.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nasty.
Nice. Well done.
But
well
they also mentioned that that the BBC Three were clearing the boards at the moment for 2 new shows which are coming out soon. a Jack Whitehall sitcom.
What?
And
What?
Russell Kane bringing the best of the comedy from the circuit. Now, we know that's not going to happen. They're not going to bring the best comedy from the circuit. They're going to bring the worst comedy from the circuit because it's going to be the youngest person with the stupidest haircut who's going to get on.
Oh.
And for that,
God damn.
they've then got rid of mongrels.
Right, hold on. I need more of this stuff to drink. 'Cause
Yeah.
my brain can't cope with the anger
Yeah.
that you've just generated.
Anger generator. But yeah, so that's it. No more mongrels. It's
ridiculous.
It's gone.
So someone else has got to take it up and show it, surely.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But we'll see.
Just everything is, though. It shouldn't have been on 3 in the first place. It's
No.
a BBC Two show.
It is.
People say, this series didn't get quite as many viewers as the first
Yeah.
6. It would have got plenty of viewers if it had been on 2 where it deserved to be, because it's a good show.
It is.
You only put a shit on 3.
The BBC were terrified of the first series because it had a few amusing jokes in it.
Yeah.
They don't like funny things on network television. They like it to be sort of confined to their cable channels.
Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
Bizarre people indeed.
How
But
can they run? How can they have BBC Two? I know it's not aimed at my or your age.
no, it isn't. Yeah,
But even so, I can appreciate children's television programs if they're well made.
yeah.
But how do they manage to have such a huge amount of shit programs on, where BBC Four can have almost unfailingly very, very good programs
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, astonishingly good. It's because the BBC Three is run by 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds who have grown up learning the American model of television production.
12-year-olds with no
Yeah,
fucking brain.
that's it. But yeah, talking about wonderful BBC Four, of course, the new series of Jonathan Mead's series started this week, which was excellent.
Yeah, that's what you've been talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, any sort of Jonathan Mead's series for me is a new event on television. It never gets any fucking promotion, of course, from the you never see it on the front page of the BBC website.
Just sort of push it out quietly and nobody will know.
Then again, you don't see anything on the fucking front page of the bloody BBC website anymore because it's fucked. What is going on? What's all that scrolly shit? I can't work it. It doesn't work. I'm too old. Bring it back.
I had a look at this after. It must have been up for at least 2 or 3 weeks, and I noticed on Twitter people were complaining about it. So I had a look. And oh, fucking hell! Because I just suddenly realised I never look at the BBC homepage. I only ever because I have a browser that brings up all like the tabs that I was using previously, and it's always on either the news homepage or the sport homepage, which is exactly the same as they always were.
Oh yeah, because I used to use it on my phone and it doesn't change on your
So
phone.
I thought, well, who the fuck actually looks at the homepage? And why complain about it? Because the whole thing you do is you look at the homepage and then you immediately click on what you want to do, which looks exactly the same as it used to.
But when I first switched it on, it was kind of all these scrolly things and then you down there. Oh no, God, all menus look shit. They look like they're being designed by a 12-year-old with bloody brain aneurysm or something. It's fucking it really is awful. But of course, the young people like it. The young people, the young, attractive, firm buttock people with stupid hair who get BBC Three shows.
Bastards.
Not that I'm bitter or anything. I was never like that. I was dressed like this pretty much when I was a young 23-year-old.
Cover for me, Martin. I'm texting. I need to text. Somebody's phoned me twice, and it's one of those people that only ever phones you twice if it's something urgent.
Oh dear, that's not good. Well, you could ring them up now. We might be able to put it out. It might be interesting, and you'll all know that something horrible's happened to somebody, which we hope hasn't happened. Yes, so Mungles is dead, and we've got a lot of shit on television now. What I would say is, if you want to, write to the BBC about it. Say, dear BBC, my mongrels is gone. Don't say it like that. My mongrels is gone.
My mongrels
have
gone.
Yep. Ooh, and a 12-bar blues. I'm assuming that was a 12-bar blues.
I know.
I'm musically incompetent, to say the least. I look at a piece of music that's been written down, and I get a headache and have to lie down for several days, which is not good. It's all the dots just rise and dance in front of my eyes.
We didn't get a chance to talk about the Comedy Awards.
We didn't,
because it sort of came whilst you were ill, and then we didn't have a body, and then we did a really short one, and
yeah,
it stunned me that for the second year running, the best sketch show was won by Horrible Histories.
Yes,
which we all know is very good.
Histories, yes.
But is also made by the children's department and the children's show. What does it say about the level of sketch comedy in this country?
Well, yes.
That can win 2 years running. I'm not suggesting it shouldn't deserve it, because I watch it quite happily.
Yeah, I mean, they provided two. In fact, the CBBC, they had Horrible Histories and Sorry I've No Head. Two brilliant sketch shows. Sadly, because Horrible Histories won the award and also has lots of branding and books out, it was the Sorry I've No Head, which was cancelled.
Yeah.
Which is another sad show to say goodbye to.
But, it was nice to see people in that. It's nice to see people in that obviously doing it because their kids were of an age where they were watching it. It's sort of sweet. I'm assuming Marcus Bigstock was doing it for that reason. Although it's not my favourite thing that he's been in. I'm a big fan of Marcus Bigstock, but the best thing that he's ever done was when he was in Hole in the Wall.
No, I've not seen that.
You've obviously seen the thing, because it used to be on before Who. They're terrible big polystyrene wall kind of.
I kind of blotted it out. Yes, I remember now.
Shit program. Yeah. But just very funny seeing him in a big silvery suit being in it.
Yes, I remember now. It's all flooding back. Oh, how awful. Yes, I was we were watching something at Christmas. I think it was the Bleak Little Shop of Stuff that came on, and my mum recognised somebody who was in it. Oh God, this is going nowhere. I do apologise. I'm going to cut this off right now. Bye bye that anecdote.
Self editing.
Yes.
Oh, it's only nearly 4 years, but we've got there. All hurrah!
Yes, only 4 years.
Yeah, there was a new version, a sort of a resurrection of a zombie version of Room 101 on television last night. Was it? In a slightly different format. Frank Skinner hosting, and three people trying to get things into Room 101. And it was rather good. It was enjoyable. And Robert Webb was superb. I don't like to arse lick, but he was just very funny and very lovely, because he just is. But
is,
it was coincidence, because I'd only recently downloaded a load of really, really early Room 101s off of the radio. This must have been from about 1992.
Yeah.
Back when the original guy was doing it, his name is suddenly gone. It's one of the effects of this cream liqueur.
Oh, it was the guy from I think it's all over.
Nick Hancock.
Nick Hancock, yes, yeah.
And it was weird in the very earliest incarnation. It was more like a sort of almost an anti-version of Desert Island Disc, because it was mainly records that they had like one book or one bit of television, but mostly it was tunes that they were trying to get in there.
Right.
Well, obviously because it was on radio, which thought made sense. But yeah, I was interesting. It was this bizarre kind of reincarnation of the same show over and over again, and now nearly 20 years old.
Yeah.
As a concept.
That's it. Well, it's like Dan. Is it Dan Pattison who created Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, well, certainly Jimmy Mulville was bigging it up when they was announced, because I saw on the BBC Ents News. Room 101's come back, and it was Jimmy Mulville quoted as sort of saying, "It's about time. It deserves another stab." This is well-hung format to come out. So.
Yeah, so Dan Pattison recreated Whose Line Is It Anyway in that new format, which got a lot of flack for having no ladies in it.
Even though everyone I've seen has had two ladies in it, seems to have
that's it.
4 blokes. So that's the inequality for you. Yeah, Fast and Loose, which I remember watching one episode and I really liked it, and I probably said as much on the podcast.
Yeah.
But just before Christmas, I watched one, and I switched off within 5 minutes and actually shouted out the screen. But I watched another one the other week, and it was fine again. I recken it's just who's on it.
It could be.
They can have some incredibly annoying, untalented people.
Oh yes, they did have lots in there, but there was cup.
Yeah, gone. Mine gone. Sorry.
I have to do that
who's
now.
Who's the big guy? Greg Davis.
Greg Davis, like Greg Davis,
8 foot tall.
Yep.
Yeah. If he's in it, it's fine.
Yeah.
And Marlstrip was in it, and those two together.
Yeah.
In anything, it's going to be worth watching for half an hour.
Oh yeah, Marlstrip and Greg and Miles, Milesy and Greg.
If there's one thing that's a supposedly comedy thing that is really angrying up the blood for me at the moment, it is the news quiz.
Oh yeah.
I have just so got to the point where I can't stand listening to it anymore.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Selling. No, actually, I said the one that they did for Christmas, the sort of panto-y type thing was really good. Because it was just a general Radio 4 loving. Yeah. But I just bought because it's just the same jokes in the movies over and over again. And they've always... I'm just sick to death of the left-wing bias, but I've been sick of that for fucking years anyway. And that's not because I'm right-wing. I just don't like anything where the bias is far too much one way. See, the only way you actually get a regular gig on that is to be more left-wing than fucking Jeremy Hardy.
That's difficult. I think it would have to be Starling. Yeah. Although he's quite right-wing, wasn't he, at the end of the day?
Well, it all goes around.
He got so left he went right. I think that's the way to do it.
But it's just such lazy script writing. Every single... Even if, say, take Nick Clegg, for instance, even if Nick Clegg's not actually been in the news for any significance or mentioned in any of the rounds, they've still got to get some joke in at his expense, just because it seems like that's the done thing, and he gets a cheap laugh from the audience. And it's, ha ha. It's fucking lazy. Script writers don't have to actually write interesting jokes for them. They just write the same joke every single fucking week, just because it keeps getting a laugh. So that's lazy on the audience's part, lazy on the writer's part, lazy on the performer's part, and it's just... I just got to the point where I start kicking the radio around the room.
Well, I do that generally with Radio 4 because Radio 4 is kind of stuck in a rut, and it likes being stuck in a rut, and that's kind of where it belongs. It's always been somewhere very comfortable that you can go back to and know and see very familiar landmarks and people, and so certainly things. I mean, I things like even I'm Sorry I'm to Clue I stopped listening to. Not because it was bad, it was just because I'd listened to it and listened to it and listened to it, and frankly, I don't think I could get anything more from it.
I don't know, that's why I differ. I can still enjoy Clue. It keeps sort of finding new things, and so, yeah, I can appreciate it. I've been revisiting some old stuff, like the first few series of Bleak Expectations, which I still think is one of the best written things I've ever heard on radio.
It is great. It is great. And of course, this year is the 40th anniversary of I'm Sorry, I haven't a clue.
I thought you were going to say Bleak Expectations. Christ!
Yes, it was. But yeah, the world's gone crazy.
You didn't screw my mic on. That was your fault.
No, that was the roadie that we get to come in.
Yeah, that was just you, wasn't it? Setting me up for some sort of sight gag.
What you might going floppy? Ooh, near the end. Well, well, that's the way it goes. So that's the state of comedy at the moment. It's not looking good, I'm afraid.
It's not looking good at all.
The good comedy's gone. We've now got Mrs. Brown's Boys to look forward to. I'm sure there's a new series.
What's the thing about? There's someone on BBC Three called Lee something. Not Nelson, he can't believe it.
Oh, not Lee Nelson, he's awful, isn't he?
Yeah. He's got a show on 3.
Yes. The Cockney sort of...
I've never seen any of it. I've only seen, trailers. But even just from the trailers, I'm trying to figure out why anyone hasn't killed him yet.
I don't know. I honestly... It's another one of those things. Some very, very middle-class people from BBC Three walked into a comedy club, saw this character being performed, went, oh, it's just how I perceive the working classes to be. I'm going to book him. And that's what happened. It got a series. That's how I see it, anyway.
So there's just something not right with the world at the moment.
It's all a bit wrong. But it's always been wrong on BBC Three. It's just that one show that we really liked. Well, probably 2 if you talked with Doctor Who Confidential.
I like the Robert Webb one because it's so shit. The thing about film and telly things that are wrong, they're not bloopers. They're the tenuosity of these things. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
This prop was there in this scene, and then it was suddenly missing. Ha 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 ha. I just love how shit that is. I love the fact that he's doing it and getting paid for doing something that he knows is shit. The whole thing is one big in-joke.
Oh, of course, yeah,
it's superb.
Shit. Derwin Mitchell has lots of writing jobs and makes his money that way. Robert Webb just does anything else.
Any old shit they throw at him.
Which is fair enough. Yeah, and actually probably a lot more likeable than David Mitchell in many ways. But,
actually, talking about David Mitchell, I'm sure I saw just a brief tweet the other day from someone suggesting that they were starting doing TV recordings for Unbelievable Truth. So has that switched to telly? Have you heard that?
It would seem a bit strange considering they've already got a show with the same format on BBC One.
Yeah. Well, I sort of follow some goodies thing on Twitter,
Oh, yeah.
and I saw anything that's got anything to do with any of the goodies, I get fed through to me information-wise. So it must have come from Graham Garden.
Yeah. But when you consider that so many scripts are thrown out going to the BBC because they've already got something else similar on the slate.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I mean, it seemed perfectly set up just to be a radio thing.
Yeah.
Unlike...
Would I lie to you? Or is...
No, the Marcus Brigstocke one. I've never seen Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Which that seemed exactly in the Room 101 mould,
Yeah.
i.e. desperate to get onto television. And that's right, it took it 2 series before it managed it, so hats off, obviously, job done there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how much better The Unbelievable Truth is going to work on telly. I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
They might tweak the format to make it, in some way visual.
Yeah. And somewhere, nowhere, nothing like Would I Lie to You on the other channel.
And when I stagger in from the pub at 12 o'clock and want half an hour's worth of comedy to watch before I go to bed, I will probably put it on iPlayer and have a good laugh.
Well,
but
there you go. That's the thing.
I really don't see it's going to be that much worth it.
No, neither do I. And I think the BBC should I'll give commission something that I've not written yet.
Is there anybody still watching?
4.
Hey!
Hello, 4 people.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a brief interlude, so I'm empty. Martin's filling me up with
that just came into his glass.
Lovely.
It was quite a disturbing sight, was that? It sort of
O'Grady's country cream jizz. This far down the bottle, I'm getting a hint of orange blossom.
Yeah, that's good. That's probably some sort of terrible bacteria growing in the bottom of it.
It's either that or it's the antacid that I've taken.
Good old antacid.
Where would we be without it?
I don't know, Sweden.
Sweden, don't talk to me about Sweden.
I won't then.
Yeah, good.
Talk to you about other places in the world. America, for instance, at the moment, where this whole...
Sorry, I've just remembered. We got a thing through on Facebook. 2 weeks ago when you put up the thing about which famous person would you like to have a pint with? Yeah, about 2 days later, or it might have been a few hours later, we got someone saying Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why I've not put anything on Facebook today.
Here's a hint, Maddie. We sort of need it before we record. That's usually from about midday onwards. So.
That's the problem. That's the problem with Facebook. It's slow as Facebook. The responses are slow. So
it can be very quick.
Yeah.
It's not one of those people things have. People have to automatically alert them when something's on. So
Alert. We want to know shit in your head. Please give me your shit. Lovely shit.
So it'll be spring soon, hopefully.
It'll be spring in fucking March when it's always spring, and that is not soon. It really pisses me off people who, it gets to the first warm day in February and people, first spring.
No.
It's fucking not.
I was suggesting it was going to be spring.
21st of March?
In spring.
It's the 21st or the 23rd of March, and not fucking day before.
No, that's true. In fact,
I don't know why that angers me so much.
In fact, some people still count May as the beginning of spring, but they're mental, and we hate them. Yeah. That's kind of when they bring Spring Watch on, isn't it? It's kind of that sort of peers.
Yeah, no, I never understood that.
Yeah.
But it is at least spring, isn't it?
So I was waving at Nicola.
Hello, Nicola.
Hello.
Oh dear. I don't look good when I smile. I'll try not to.
It's the lights, We've got too much light.
Yeah.
Too much light and too much cock.
If anyone could actually see this whole setup, it's ridiculous. for what we're doing.
Yeah, we do have we have 1,000
for 4 people.
Yeah,
the most expensive looking tripod I've ever seen, with a very, very poncy looking digital camera on top of it, wired up to at least 3 different things. 2 massive fucking lights with a poncy screen on, so it softens it somewhat, so we don't look white. 2 mic stands.
That's about that's 1,000 watts of lights we've got on at the moment. So my meter's going like that.
I was saying it was about 1,000 quid's worth of equipment. It's probably more than that.
Actually, yeah, it's yeah.
And most people would just be doing this with a webcam on a laptop.
Yeah, I can't do that. I have to do it properly.
Yeah, well, I'd have to sit far too close to you to do that.
So for four people watching, Hello, 4 people. Hello, how are you? Hope you're well. and that you're talking to your mothers regularly by telephone.
Aye.
And don't use your text. Talk to them properly because they don't understand text mothers. Well, mine does, but she's special. She's a proper mother.
She is a proper mother.
Black power. Well, with all that, I think we've probably exhausted what we had, what we came here for today. So,
Was all the booze gone?
no, we've got some more. We've got to carry on.
That's what I came for.
When we end the podcast, we'll do still a little bit to camera. You know,
okay.
We'll carry on doing that.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Yes, aren't you?
Wow.
Well, I'll show you what other booze we've got for later. So from all of us here at the Gentleman's Review, I'll also put this out on YouTube, by the way, so you'll be able to see it all anyway.
Wow.
Okay.
Lucky people.
Yeah. So from all of us here,
From all of us, literally all of us in the room here.
all of me, from all of me, it's bye-bye!